I'm Michael Smerconish in Philadelphia. An important part of the impeachment process seems now at a close. On Thursday, the House Intel Committee concluded 7 public hearings, during which 12 witnesses testified. Despite some moments of high drama, my hunch is that few minds were changed. Democrats, led by Chairman Adam Schiff, believe they've established that, at a minimum, by withholding access and funding appropriated by Congress while demanding a political investigation, President Trump abused his office and may have committed bribery or extortion. Republicans, led by Devin Nunes, argue that no Ukraine investigation of the Bidens was launched. President Trump ultimately did meet with President Zelensky, and the earmark money flowed. It seems likely that party line votes will now ensue, first by House Democrats to impeach the president, second by Senate Republicans to find him not guilty. Will Hurd, the Republican House member from Texas, is a good barometer. He's a moderate from Texas, a former CIA officer, not running for re-election. On Thursday, he said this:
an impeachable offense should be compelling, overwhelmingly clear, and unambiguous, and it's not something to be rushed or taken lightly. I've not heard evidence proving the president committed bribery or extortion. I also reject the notion that holding this view means supporting all the foreign policy choices we have been hearing about over these last few weeks.
If Democrats haven't won Will Hurd's impeachment vote, they are unlikely to win any Republicans in the House or in the Senate. So where the process has a foregone conclusion, is there a better resolution? Mark Thiessen, conservative columnist for The Washington Post, recently suggested that Democrats pursue an alternative: censure. In his piece, Why Don't Democrats Drop Impeachment and Just Censure Trump?, he argues that unlike the Mueller probe, this time Trump actually did something wrong, but that a minority of Americans see it as worthy of impeachment. Quote, if Democrats persist and approve articles of impeachment, it will be a purely symbolic act, a way to publicly censure the president for his actions with regard to Ukraine. So why not drop impeachment and censure him instead? Thiessen sees precedent. In 1834, the Senate voted to censure President Andrew Jackson for stonewalling a congressional investigation into why he shut down the second bank of the United States. Trump would be only the second president in history so reprimanded, and it would put Republicans in a bind. To vote against censure, Republicans would have to argue that there was no misconduct at all, which makes it much harder to vote against censure than impeachment. And as Thiessen puts it, a bipartisan censure vote would ultimately be more damaging to Trump than impeachment along party lines. Of course, the counter is that if the punishment for misconduct is determined by counting noses, it opens the door for some, the majority, to always get a free pass. We routinely ask police and prosecutors to bring cases where they believe there was wrongdoing, not limited by the odds of victory, in front of a jury. Why should a president be held to a different standard?